Hello.
How are you, Mike from the Pike?
I'm doing great, Kevin. Thank you very much.
Is this better?
This is much better. Yeah, less fluttery. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. You're coming to the Wilbur Theater, back at the Wilbur this coming Monday, and you're going to be screening Clerks III and a question and answer. And I was reading a interview from a few years ago. You were talking about Clerks III, and you said, yeah, it'd be interesting to check back in with these guys when they're older. I don't know about Jay and Silent Bob, though. Those guys leaning up against a wall and hanging out would seem pretty sad. But I like what you did. I like what you did because they're no longer leaning up against the wall. They actually own the wall now, which is great.
Hey, yes. I put them inside and they own the wall, so I was able to beat my own estimation of where they should be. I remember once I was like, if I'm 50 years old and wearing a backwards baseball cap, somebody shoot me. And I'm 52, Mike, and I'm literally wearing a backwards baseball cap as we speak.
Right.
Not only in the movie, but in real life. So sometimes we adjust accordingly as we age. The tour, though, coming to the Wilbur, man, means the world. I love playing that venue. You guys are always so sweet to us there.
Yeah.
And, people were asking, like, from the beginning of the tour. We started the tour September 4th. And people were asking about Massachusetts since the beginning, but we had a Fan Expo Boston that we went to.
Oh, yeah.
So they couldn't announce tickets and stuff. So we had to wait to finally announce. And Lord knows it would not be a tour if we didn't get to go to the Wilbur.
And I love the question and answer format, the screening and then the question and answer. Is this going to be another 7-hour session like that one you did? When was that? It was like the longest question and answer.
That was the one I did in Red Bank at one point at Count Basie Theater. Did 7 hours, went to like 2, 3 in the morning and stuff. The good folks of the Wilbur are very, responsible about getting you off a stage at a certain point and stuff. So we show the movie. We show the movie. That's 90 minutes. We all watch it together. And then I do a Q&A that's probably about as long, if not longer, than the movie itself. So it does wind up being about a 3.5 hour night, if not longer.
Right, your average Bruce Springsteen concert, pretty much.
Basically, man, which is so crazy because I can go long on stage, Mike, but try having sex with me. It's over in like 30 seconds.
Well, this interview is over. Thank you very much for calling. That was disturbing. Let me ask this, so we just forewarn people who are going to go to the show. Is there any question that you're just not going to answer?
Oh, my God, heavens no. I don't think anyone's ever put a question to me that I didn't answer. And the thing is, you're on the radio. It doesn't matter what people say to you. You can answer any way you want. So somebody can ask you a question about, like, hey, man, what's Ben Affleck like? And I can go on to a 20-minute story about how my dad used to take me to the movies when I was a kid. And as long as I reference Ben somewhere in there, people will feel like, oh, he did answer my question. Maybe not directly, but I got an answer. The answers are long. I do like to warn people in advance. Like, when the Q&A begins, you usually get like 30, 40 people lining up. And I'm like, kids, maybe 5. We'll get to about 5 of you. The rest of you sit down, enjoy the night and stuff. Because the answers, the Q is a little bit of Q, but there's a metric ton of A.
So this completes the circle, if you will, of the Clerks saga. I mean, this makes it a complete circle, right? You just kind of end where the first movie kicks in. Is that right?
Absolutely, man. It really is. You can watch these movies on a loop, and one just feeds into the other, man. I stole that idea from The Simpsons. They said they want their last episode ever to be one that hands off to the Christmas special. And I was like, that sounds great. I'm going to try that with Clerks.
So does that mean this is it for these characters? Is that right? So this is the last time we're going to see these folks?
I can't imagine that's the case. I know Kevin Smith. He's, if he finds something that works, he sticks with it. But I don't think there'll ever be another Clerks film. You may see Randall or Dante or Jay and Silent Bob pop up in other things, but in terms of, there won't be a Clerks 4.
Okay.
If there is, Mike, I'm desperately in need of cash. And if I'm desperately in need of cash, let me tell you, these Clerks movies, they're not the cure.
Well, I was just wondering because I'm glad to hear that because I was really disappointed with the last couple of Star Wars movies, which I thought were just rehashes of the first, or I should say, episode 4, I guess technically. But
well, I tried. Look, I tried my best, Mike, but they just won't let me do what I want with Star Wars. So that's the Star Wars you're getting. No, I'm kidding.
What?
They have nothing to do with those movies.
Why? Why won't they let you do anything with that? I mean, I think you're maybe one of the most famous Star Wars fans ever. Someone who truly loves it. Why won't they let you get your hands on it?
I mean, look, I'm a fan, but I'm also not talented enough to make a Star Wars movie. I make the movies where people talk about Star Wars movies. But, I don't think I even have the patience to make a Star Wars movie. Like, a lot of those movies don't have a lot of dialogue. So I like making movies where people talk about things. So my Star Wars movie would be like the least visually interesting. It'd just be Jedi sitting around having discussions, probably about Earth-based movies.
Like a couple of guys at the Mos Eisley Cantina saying, like, I'm not even supposed to be here today. Something
man, in a world of Disney Plus, bro, you've got to imagine sooner or later they get to that. And who else they going to think of? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, throw me a bone. You don't give me a whole Star Wars movie, but, yeah, let me do an episode of Mos Eisley.
Right,
a
yeah.
series that doesn't exist, but should exist, goddammit.
Or at least Clerks on Mos Eisley, right? Something
that'd be
like
amazing.
That. Yeah.
There's a moment in one of those Mandalorian episodes where there's two stormtroopers, like, talking. And
yes.
At one point, I felt so seen. I was like, this is Clerks.
Yeah. It was. That's one of my favorite Star Wars moments of all the movies and all the series. It was so natural, and so it was something like I'd been waiting to see. Finally, the stormtroopers get their day because they seem like they have the they have the crappiest job in the galaxy, and it's
and they were shitty too. I mean, they were punished, right? Because they punch baby Yoda, Grogu, but then they get taken out by IG-11, which was pretty awesome.
So it's good to hear some of these characters may not pop up later. I mean, Jay and Silent Bob I've been fans of those characters specifically since the first Clerks movie. Now that they'll never die. Jay and Silent Bob, as long as I got air in my lungs, there's still a chance of a Jay and Silent Bob. Look, Jason Mewes could kick the bucket. I'll still find a way to make a Jay and Silent Bob something. Well, with CGI these days, I mean, they brought back Grand Moff Tarkin, so I guess they can bring back Jay. I'd like to see that now that Jay and Silent Bob own a dispensary, and just the billions and billions of dollars that are being generated by this industry now. I would like to see some kind of Citizen Kane saga of like Jay, just
done and done.
How is that going?
I'm trying.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
His Rosebud, I would imagine, would be a lot filthier than Citizen Kane's Rosebud.
Oh, it would definitely be an old school U.S. water pipe. With a
I don't think it would be a sled. It would probably be an anatomical reference at that point.
How is that going, by the way? The Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash.
Wonderful. We're just celebrating our 25th year as a brick and mortar in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Wow.
So it's been, wonderful, man. I got this whole other career, but I also got a side hustle as a brick and mortar retailer. And, it's tough to keep anything open for 25 years, let alone a comic book store. So I'm kind of proud of us for doing so. And just recently, me and my friends bought my hometown movie theater. The Atlantic Movie House, and now we call it Smod Castle Cinemas. So tonight is the very first opening night of the Smod Castle Film Festival, the first annual Smod Castle Film Festival. Last month we had George R.R. Martin come out, and we did a show with him where I interviewed him. We're doing all sorts of fun programming, and there's an apartment over it that I get to live in. It's amazing. I feel like Tom Hanks in Big when he was big. Like with that killer life. Like living above a movie theater is amazing, Mike. I can have Twizzlers anytime I want. Anytime.
I imagine this is like you're living the dream life, because someone who loves movies like you, I would imagine you had gone to that theater several times, right, to see movies. And
that was my childhood movie theater.
Oh,
one that my dad would take me to. My dad used to take me to the movies when I was a kid, and also my high school movie theater, man. Like where I went to see all the movies when I was in high school.
That's. I mean, you're there. You're there, man. You're living there too. I mean, you're in that place right now.
You're getting it. You're getting it. I've reached perfection. I've reached bliss. without ever having to improve, Mike.
No, well, that's something I gotta say I admire that about you. That you, despite all the slings and arrows, you never really strayed away from Kevin Smith.
I can't.
Yeah, I think that's great that you've kept it steady at the wheel. Since the first Clerks movie, not a lot of people can do that.
As a kid, the tortoise appealed to me more than the hare. I was like,
Right.
God, he's working so hard. Why is he working so hard? Just, pace yourself, kid. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
So, yeah, in a world where I didn't ever want to go back to work, for heaven's sakes, I like making movies about people that work at Quick Stop. I don't want to work at Quick Stop myself. I feel like I've kind of done the thing I've wanted to do. I didn't have much ambition. I didn't want to win an Oscars or anything. I just wanted to, make my movies, and that was pretty easy as long as I wanted to stick to the same subject matter.
I know you stepped away for a while, and now you're back. Do you think you'll be like someone like Clint Eastwood, where you'll just keep going until you can't even physically get out the door anymore?
Clint Eastwood is talented, and the studios give him money, so I'll never be like Clint Eastwood. But I will try to keep doing it for as long as I'm standing. Like Robert Altman left this best of all possible world and business on a movie set. He went toes up off a movie set. That's the way to go right there, man. For people in my line of work, that's the dream. To be in the middle of the job, dead, and it's somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
That's directing, my friend.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, it's not. It's kind of sad, but still at the same time, yeah. It's
But that's life. Awesome and sad.
Awesome and sad.
You just nailed it. You really cracked the code this morning.
All right. Hey, Kevin, thanks a lot for joining me this morning. I appreciate your time. This coming Monday, the Wilbur Theater, the screening of Clerks 3. It's the convenience tour, and then the question and answer, which Kevin promises to be not more than 12 hours long afterwards. So looking forward to see you, Kevin. Thank you so much for taking the time. And I know you're coming to the end of the tour, so good luck and have a great holiday, man.
Such a pleasure. Great talking to you. Bye, everybody.